The best of the morning to you. This is Monday with Friday, preparing you for a better week ahead. When I was 23 years old, I did something that upset a couple of people who were like family to me. It wasn't something immoral, unethical, or unlawful. It was just improper. They complained to someone in authority over me at the time, but never spoke to me to my face. In my brash youthfulness, I fired off a letter to them, for in those days a telephone was not at my fingertips and over 150 miles separated us. I wrote to express disappointment that they didn't talk to me but instead complained elsewhere. My letter was more to justify and explain my actions and express disappointment that they didn't come to me. I don't remember apologizing for what I did, and they never replied to my letter. Surprise, surprise. About 5 years later, having grown up a little, I was sitting in my home, this time about 1,300 miles away from my friends, when what I had done and what I had written 5 years earlier crashed into my consciousness with a clarity and understanding that almost horrified me. Once again, I put pen to paper, this time only to apologize for my actions and ask their forgiveness. They never replied to that letter either, but visiting with them some years later, the warmth of the welcome back into their home told me that all was well. This past month, I received 3 complaints. One from some persons about some of my sermons, one from a person who didn't like something I posted on social media, and one from a colleague who thought that last week's Monday with Friday episode lacked an important component. Now, I've noticed that people who complain about something I preached are folks who never, either before or after those complaints, ever thank me for other things I've said or done that blessed, benefited, helped, or encouraged them. I've noticed that their complaints are generalizations, never citing a specific statement, its context, or demonstrating how the comment was unfaithful to the biblical text I was expounding, either in its interpretation or as a fair and accurate illustration of the biblical text. I've noticed also that having pastored black and white churches, it's only in one of those demographics that people seem to think they have the right to complain about what I say in the pulpit. But as the Caribbean saying goes, it may be that I have stepped on somebody's corn or toe, struck a nerve, or rendered an inconvenient truth too self-revealing to handle. So, although disturbed by that kind of immaturity, I must remain faithful to my calling. When a person who has had no dealings with you for years, not even to say Merry Christmas or see how you're doing, suddenly reaches out to chide you for a social media post, not to ask for a clarification or even to hear how you're doing, it feels improper. I learned long ago that nobody has the right to correct somebody else unless they already have a supportive and mutually encouraging relationship with that person. That sounds about right. And then, a colleague thought that last week's episode, while it challenged religious and other institutions to transform their theological and behavioral positions that contribute to violence done to women and girls, thought that I failed to challenge individuals to bold, courageous, and self-sacrificial actions that change the landscape. Now, he and I have exchanged many a rich conversation about this and that, so he earned the right to that critique. So I say this, although institutions are comprised of individuals, they certainly are persons within them that can take actions, individuals who can take actions that organizations may not, cannot, or would not. Transformative movements happen because an individual, not so much an institution, stepped up to the plate. So, while I challenge presidents and general secretaries and CEOs and boards and powerful men and women alike to lead the change regarding violence against women and girls, let us not forget that it was a 17-year-old girl who stood among a small crowd, pleading for the life of George Floyd, who bravely video recorded his murder, and who started, we hope, an end to police violence. So instead of standing around cheering on and laughing at violence, as I saw recently in a video out of a certain country close to me recently, we each have a responsibility to stop it. If a child can do it, we can, if we wanted to. So let's do it. As always, please share this video with someone and ask them to subscribe to my channel. I am Michael Friday, and your week just got better. I'll see you again next week. Happy Monday, all the way to Friday.